Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm just about to put the sprinkler on here in the garden, so I thought I'd do a quick update video because it's been a while. Been harvesting a lot of stuff out of the garden and there's still stuff coming, so I thought I'd do a quick video, and it's hard to believe that in about 3 more weeks the garden will be just about done. Now you can see over here I've got a lot of tomatoes on the vine here. Some of them are starting to get ripe. I've been watching the bottom cherry tomatoes there for them to get ripe, and it looks like I've got, I don't know, maybe 3 on that one, a couple more over on the other plant, so if Xander comes over to visit, he'll have something to eat. As far as all the beans go, I've ate as many beans as I want to eat. There's still tons of beans on here. Mainly with the beans, I like to come out here now and just eat them right off the plant. I put them in a few stir fries. I'm not going to do any canning of beans this year, because I still have a few cabinets that are just, filled with canned beans from a couple years ago. So you can see I don't need to can any beans this year. My onions here, they really aren't in the best spot because they were mashed between the beans, which were really big, and the potatoes, but they're getting there. Some of them are starting to fall over depending on what type they were, so it won't be long I'll be pulling them out of the ground. My potatoes seem to be doing real well. In fact, just the other day I pulled a weed out of here, which was right here, and when I did, you can see I've got red potatoes growing right there. So I don't know how many I'll get, but that's probably my most exciting thing in the garden, is the day we dig up the potatoes. The peanut plants that I planted, or the seeds, they seem to be doing good. They were flowering and everything, so once they flower, they put their little shoots down into the ground and they'll create peanuts, but we won't be pulling those out of the ground until just right before it's going to freeze up. I've got a lot of jalapeno peppers here that are ready. In fact, I think I'm going to take some of these and make my own chipotle peppers. I'll probably do a video on that, but I mean, I'll wait till they get dark like these are, but I mean, it's just the plants are loaded. I have a ton of banana peppers, so many that this plant is falling over. I've got a plant back there that's starting to fall over. And it's time to harvest these. I think I'm going to pull them off, and I think I might actually pickle some of these. I do like the taste of pickled banana peppers if you put them on a sandwich or whatever. I have a lot of these green peppers, and those over there are going to be red peppers. Enough so some of these plants are falling over also. I've harvested quite a few of these, sent them back with Melissa. I've ate some myself, and I don't know what I'm going to do with all these. I might maybe dehydrate some of them, or who knows. My cotton plants, they're growing pretty good. I don't know, they're starting to get some little buds on them, so it might not be long and they'll be starting to make some cotton. The Brussels sprout plants, they seem to be growing okay. I don't harvest them until the snow flies, so we still have plenty of time. My little row of beets is coming along okay. Dinosaur kale looks good. My carrots are doing real well. It won't be long I'll be able to start harvesting them, and I'm pretty excited about that because remember I planted the like a rainbow blend or whatever, so I'll have purple ones, and there was kind of cream colored ones, and of course orange ones, so I'm pretty excited about that. I may actually can some of them. I'd like to see if you can a purple carrot, does it stay purple after the canning process, so we might have to find that out. Lots of cabbages growing. Back there I had my kohlrabi. I think I've got 2 or 3 of those left, and they're big, but we actually tried to make kohlrabi fries in the air fryer the other day, and it didn't go so good. So I don't know, I'm going to try it again, but put some sort of a batter on it and see how that works. I've harvested all my broccoli, the initial harvest, but down here, you always get the shoots that pop up afterwards, so broccoli keeps on giving, but the main part of it has all been chopped down. I've used a couple of the heads of cauliflower. It's still coming up here, so I see I've got some kind of bug that's eating a little bit on the leaves, but not worried about it. The cauliflower is almost done. I have huge okra. Probably should have already been harvested. I don't really like okra, but anyway, I'll probably cut a couple of the smaller ones out and give it a try again this year. I think my biggest disappointment in the garden this year were the peas. You guys know, I love putting the edible pea pods into a stir fry and everything, and I got this year these dwarf gray sugar. Usually I get the sugar snap, but they didn't have those, so I thought, oh, I'll try these. And they're a good pea. Like when you see this one at this size, It's real good. You put that in the stir fry or just eat it like this and it's good. But when they get a little bit bigger, like this one, see how that one's puffed out? First of all, they're small. Of course, they're a dwarf. I would have liked them twice as long. When they get a little bit puffy like this, they're so stringy that even if you're eating them raw, you chew on them for a while, you've got to spit it out. And it was horrible in the stir fry. So I was like, oh, I planted all this. Look at all the flowers that's still coming along. But if you don't get them when they're at that perfect size, unlike a sugar snap pea, when you can eat those when they're well past their prime and they still aren't that stringy, these ones you can't even eat. The whole garden now is past the point of weeding. I mean, there's just too many plants. It's too far along. You end up doing more damage than good if you try to get down there and, you know, pull a weed up next to a carrot or something or an onion. It's going to pull the onion out with it. So on this end here, on the viney end, it's just, I don't know, just be like a broken record. Everything's doing good. I've got whatever that is, like a cantaloupe. It wasn't a cantaloupe, but it was similar to it. They're growing good. I can't tell you how many cucumbers I pulled out of here. Yellow squash, I pulled a ton of those out. I already have more yellow squash that needs to go. It was kind of a disappointment because I made sure, I thought that every single yellow squash plant I got in here was not the winter crookneck squash, the kind that gets the bumps on it. I bet you over half my plants are that kind of winter squash. And I'm just not big on winter squash. I grow acorn squash, I give them all to my mom and dad. I like zucchini, yellow squash, stuff I can cut up, just throw it in the fry pan, fry it, and it's done. I'm not going to store anything for winter if it's a squash. I have a pumpkin growing right there. I mean, you can see there's a melon, there's a melon. I mean, there's something in there. There's watermelon in here. There's the muskmelon type stuff. I've got zucchinis growing over here. This here is acorn squash. You can see I've got those. They're coming up all over in here. There's a little green one down there. Another thing I'm not going to bother growing again are these bunch onions. I grew them from seed, and what a waste of time. I mean, you had to weed them so carefully because they come up and they're just tiny little strings, and we are, you know, a couple months into this and they're still just little. It's not worth it. If you wanted green onions or whatever, you could just plant regular green onions, the sets, and plant them deep, or just go to the store if you need bunch onions and just pick up a batch. I don't use them that often. I guess over here I have the eggplant. I've got more of the Brussels sprouts, celery. I actually harvested a couple of celery stalks. It's doing pretty good this year. I mean, they're small right now, but they're edible. I put them in a stir fry. What's that stuff called? I always forget the name of that. Swiss chard. Yeah, that's what that is. I've ate a little bit of that. It's not my favorite. It's fun to grow because it's got pretty colors, but it's not anything that I need in my garden. There's been quite a few raspberries that have been picked out here. They'll come for quite a while. There are some that come now, and then there's some that'll come later in the season. Never did get any blueberries, I don't think. They were kind of hidden down here and really got chewed up by the rabbits. Oh, look at underneath here, though. Look at all of the raspberries that nobody has seen. Xander needs to come over here and get a handful. Yeah, as far as the garden, that's pretty much it. I know that I looked on I had a Facebook post that came up, and it was about 3 days ago it popped up, and 3 years ago, on that day, 3 days ago, I had dug up all the potatoes. But remember, this year we had that harsh spring, so they went in a little bit later. Up here with my apple and my plum trees, I didn't get a whole lot. I have one tree that has some nice apples. I have a couple trees that had no apples. I have one plum tree that had nothing, and I have another plum tree that has a few plums on it. You can see the apples right here on this part of the tree. I don't know what it is about this part of the yard. The deer flies are horrible. You go back there 300 feet to the garden, they don't bug me much at all. Those apples on that tree over there are Northern Lights apples. So I did have a couple last year. I've never grown them before, but those trees seem to grow really good. This over here is a Toka plum. And like I said, I do have a few plums on here. Not nearly as many as there was flowers. This thing was covered in flowers, but at least I'm going to get a few plums. I think last year it only had 2, and I missed out and they were gone before I got to them. This one here is a Pembina plum, at least that's how I call it. And this one didn't even have any flowers on it this year, so I have nothing. And this tree here is the other Northern Lights apple, and like I said, I have nothing on that one at all. Okay everyone, well thanks a lot for watching. This coming weekend, Zachary and Samantha and Melissa and myself are going to go to this festival. Going to do a small video on that. The weekend after that, I'm hoping to go up to the tent. It's been a few weeks, it's about time. Because I'm really excited to put up my new weather station that Melissa got me for my birthday. I just have it here. It's in completely the wrong spot, but I have the screen or whatever inside, and it's been fun to watch, and I've been wanting one of these up there for a very long time. I'll see you guys on the next video.